Hey everyone, John Hartley. I got a bunch of stuff to go over today. Try to get through it as quick as possible so this isn't a 2-hour video. But it's still early. I'm on my second cup of coffee. Have some good coffee. I don't know if anybody noticed it, but Numista, which is a website where you can catalog all your coins. It's private, it has a lot of information on there. The people who use it are the people who update it and enter new coins or add information to coins that are already entered. And I'm one of those people. I do it. I update coins all the time, especially like with this commemorative down here. There's very little information, so I go to the internet and I find the information I need and I put it on Numista. But they have recently started a banknote side of the website, and though I don't collect banknotes actively, over the years when I see something interesting, just because I'm looking around in coins and stuff like that, you run across banknotes and you find some pretty ones. This is from Suriname, and very colorful note, the hummingbird on it. Colorful reverse with some buildings there. And this one has what looks like to be an ivory-billed woodpecker. Their seal. This is also from Suriname, and very pretty reverse. This is a fractional currency, 25 cents. And these were popular during and after the Civil War because of a coinage shortage. And I bought this one a number of years ago, as you can see, because the plastic's so dirty on the outside. And this is one of the least expensive ones. Some of them go for big bucks. But I thought it was cool when I first learned about fractional currency. I bought this. I bought this close to 20 years ago now. I don't know how Skelly got in there. I don't even remember buying this. I'm assuming I bought it from the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. But this is just a regular old $5 bill, but it is hand signed by the treasurer. So I picked it up. So I started entering all my banknotes that I had stuffed away in a box. And when I got through, I had about 120 of them. And got looking around and didn't have one from Canada. So I went on there. And the good thing about these notes is most of them don't cost much at all. A lot of the modern notes from overseas you can get for a buck. And some of them are demonetized, and that's why they're so cheap. Some of them, it's just they're cheap because it doesn't cost very many US dollars to buy some of those countries' notes. But I didn't have one from Canada, so I bought this one. And almost all these notes are just absolutely crisp, uncirculated. I guess people buy these and put them away and then sell them later, or buy them to sell them, you know, in bank rolls, not rolls, but you know. Well, I feel like Joe Biden. I've lost what I was going to say. Sorry, not a political page. All right, let's get to the coins. But anyway, I'm back to the bills for a second. I bought that Canadian note, and I looked on the Numista. You can go to your collection, and it has a map, and it'll color in the countries that you have. And I'm like getting this feeling like I had when I was doing the coins of the world, and I was trying to collect a coin from every country in existence at the time. And I did complete that project, and it took a while. It cost a little bit of money, but most of the coins from the like from the newer Russian, ex-Russian states, they're very inexpensive. So I find myself thinking about buying a banknote from every country in the world that exists today. Got a pretty good head start on it, but a lot missing in Africa. So yesterday I went to eBay and I just clicked on world notes and started scrolling through them, and you know, and not in any country in particular, just world notes, and just scrolled through all countries, and sure enough, I bought 7 of them. But I bought 7 of them, and the most expensive one might have been $4. So I don't know if I'll, you know, I don't have much content, so I might, you know, right now I'm not buying a lot of coins, so I might include that on my channel. I'm not sure yet. Y'all let me know if you want to see them. Put it that way. All right, I got these in proper order. This is just some silver, boring old silver. And I got this from Modern Coin Mart, best price on Eagles I could find. And I have not been keeping up with this year's Eagle tube as much as I should be to get it done by the end of the year, so I'm buying 3 instead of 2 per month right now. And that's because I bought some rather expensive coins recently. But I've been doing coin tubes for either 8 or 9 years now. This is either my 8th tube or my 9th tube. And I've slowed down on my silver purchases. I used to buy a 10-ounce bar every month, and sometimes a 20-ounce bar, and then always a couple of Eagles, and fill up 1 tube a year. You know, nice and slow and easy. But price is going up. Silver's getting to that point to where I really don't want to buy it at this price, because I guess I'm used to buying a silver at a much lower price. So I've stopped buying silver unless I come across a real good deal. Stopped buying silver except for the Eagles. I'm gonna keep on filling Eagles tubes, and they just look nice in the safe. And you can get these mint tubes anywhere on eBay really cheap. All right, one more 2020. I'll say goodbye to this design. You know, they're changing the reverse of all the Eagles, the gold and the silver Eagles. Actually, this reverse will still be on the proof Eagles next year. just on these bullion eagles will it be changed next year. And then that later on they say this has got a water or a milk spot or something on it. I don't know if y'all can see that. Good thing it's just a tube filler. It's also got a bag mark on it. Don't see that often on eagles. Oh well. Hide it in the middle of the roll. In the middle of the tube. If you see me not worrying about touching them too much, these, like I say, this is just bullion. And, you know, it's just basically a savings account for me. One day, many years from now, hopefully silver will go up, but you know, it's you know, if silver goes up, the silver I got, I can go out and buy a new truck with it. But I don't need a new truck, so I'm just gonna let the silver stay in the safe. And I'm almost halfway full with that. All right, here's the main part of today's video. This is a very thick package. Good Lord. This thing's got a 10-to point on it, and it's it. Good, no. That ain't gonna work. Good thing I make my videos in the kitchen. Well, kitchen shears will go through a chicken leg. They'll go through this. There you go. I know this one's protected well. Alrighty. Out of the 4 early commemorative $50 that I have left to buy, this was the least expensive one. And I got this at a pretty good deal at $250. So, it is the Delaware MS-64. And it is a nice frosty satiny finish, which is what the Mega Red book, come on, focus camera, I ain't got time to play with you. What the Mega Red book said you would find. It's got luster, but it's not a shiny piece, it's just a satiny piece. And this is an old church. Let's start at the beginning. This was to mark the tercentenary. I always try to say tricentenary, tricentennial. I guess that's a word too, but tercentenary of the landing of the Swedes in Delaware. And that's the first church that I don't know if it's the first church they built, but it's the first congregation of their faith that they had. And at the time this coin was minted, and I didn't check and see if it was still standing, but it was the oldest active church in the United States. But that cloud up there and the rays, for some reason, when I first saw this, and for a while thereafter, I just saw this in a book or online. I always thought it was a chicken sitting up there. I don't know why, it just struck my head that way, and until I investigated it. Here's the ship they came over in. And it has, though it looked more prominent in the pictures, it has a bluish dot on the coin right there. It looks bluish in the picture, it looks black here, but it has one little speck, and it probably brought it down a little bit. And it got something around it, I think. Something got on that coin, and it started some sort of toning, and it's looks like the toning is spreading out in a white film, just a small amount, but it doesn't take away from the coin much. The book says that due to slightly higher relief, that if there are scars and marks on that highest sail, that they are marks from the planchet that didn't get taken out by the minting process, because the press wasn't, it didn't have a good enough strike, so that the planchets, planchets usually have scratches on them, not a lot, but when you press a coin, the coin basically becomes liquid from the high heat of the friction of the press, and that's what moves the metal. I mean, it doesn't become completely liquid, but the surface is moved and formed by the die because it becomes liquid. And not all of it all the time, because that high spot wasn't quite completely engaged with the die, and it leaves the dings and dents that were on the coin. There's one little mark right there, looks like a scratch or something. But other than that, this is a really nice example of the Delaware. So I have 3 half-dollar early commemoratives left to get, and all of them are difficult. One of them is I know it's called something else, but it's the one with the Charter Oak on it. Another is the Cincinnati, and the hardest one that's going to be is the Hudson, and that's a cool looking coin as well. But that's going to be like a tax return type investment. And I still want to get the Lafayette dollar. I'm not going to try to get all the gold coins, because, of course, with the $50 ones for the Pan Pac exposition, or you have to be very wealthy to get those. This coin, and I didn't find out till I started researching that coin to update the Numista page, but Sweden made a coin celebrating the tercentenary of the founding of Delaware by the Swedes. I don't know if the Delaware was founded by the Swedes, but that's when the Swedes landed in Delaware. They put out a commemorative coin too. Except I didn't mention this. This one's dated 1936. Congress approved this in 1936. They were minted in 1937, but the anniversary of the tercentenary was not until 1938, but they still put 1936 on the coin. So it has the proper dates on the reverse, 1638 to 1938, but the coin has 1936 on the obverse. And the only thing they did in 1936 was legislation was approved to make the coin. So this is a 2 Kroner from Sweden. Yeah, Sweden. It's got Gustav on here. Gustav the 5th, I think. This coin's got lots of luster, but it's got some film issues on there, but it was the best one I could find. It's got a crisp reading. It's definitely uncirculated. It's just not as pretty as it could be. And of course it has a metal flip. And the same ship, though a different design, is on the reverse. And I'm not going to attempt to read the Latin that goes across the top, but it means Sweden remembers New Sweden. So I thought to make this a complete collection of the Delaware that you had to have the Sweden coin too. And I'll mark these coins in the section below for the Numista pages so you can look it up. I updated the Delaware page. It's got a lot of information about it on there. I did not update the Sweden coin, but it's a pretty coin. I like it. Wonder how close the ships look alike. Kind of accurate. It's hard to get both of them at the right angle where you can see them, but there's the right number of mast and everything. This one's got its front jib out, and this one, it's got a smaller little jib on there. A jib is a sail. And even though I was a sailor, I'm not sure that's the exact right term for that sail, but I think it is. So, that's that. Sorry about the long video, but a lot of stuff came in yesterday and today, and I couldn't open this one yesterday because I wanted to open it with this one, and this one came in this morning. So that's why I've got all this stuff, and the Eagles have been here since this past weekend. So the next thing I have coming in, I have a French coin coming. It should have been here by now because I saw on the tracking that a tracking number had been created right after I ordered it or bought it on eBay. And pretty little coin. And then for a full week, it stayed just like that. The only entry on the tracking was a tracking number had been created. So I contacted the guy, and he said, "Oh, don't worry about it. Sometimes the post office doesn't scan them." He said, "Yeah, I always mail the coins the next day or maybe 2 days." He said, "And if I created a tracking number, that means your coin's in the mail." I wasn't too confident with that answer because the tracking number would have been scanned at some point along the line. So I knew it was still in Texas where this guy is from. Sure enough, the next day I look at the tracking number and it said accepted by the United States Postal Service in his hometown. And I said, well, that guy, I hesitate to say he lied to me, but he certainly wasn't correct on his theory that it was mailed. And then the next day after that, I got another eBay message from him saying, "I hate it. I'm sorry that it happened, but my wife on the way to the post office stopped at the grocery store and she threw the envelopes into the glove box so they wouldn't get stolen out of her car, and she forgot about it. And he apologized. Yeah. Okay. I accept his apology. But it's on the way now. That'll be the next thing that gets here more than likely. And then those 7 banknotes, 5 of which I bought from one guy, so they're already on the way. And 2 others, one has shipped and the other one hasn't, but probably will today. So, thanks for watching. If you would please click on that subscribe nickel in the bottom right hand corner of your screen. Give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you give me a thumbs down, let me know what you didn't like about the video other than it being too long. And please comment. I like reading all your comments, and I try to comment to all of them. I always say subscribe at that point. And until that French coin gets here, I'm 1042.